guys, what's up? I am the Stormchild.
I'm Phil.
And yeah, we will continue our journey through all the Nightwish albums. And today we have a very special one. Of course, we're talking about Stormchild, released in 2002.
Yeah.
And I think for us the best Nightwish album.
Yeah, best Nightwish album, period. Not only for us.
Yes.
Best Nightwish album, period. If you disagree...
Yeah, I have talked about that in many Nightwish reaction video, of course, that I love this album. This is my favorite album. Also in my all-time favorite album video I've done, I think, sometimes. Yeah, in my 1 year Stormchild Reacts.
It's gotta be difficult to pinpoint, like...
Yeah.
How many favorite albums of all time?
Of all time.
Yeah, but how many? Like, did you narrow it down to 10?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impossible.
No, I think it was only 5.
That's impossible.
But yeah, it was impossible. And afterwards, it was just like, okay, I forgot that. And it was just like this Lonely Island thing we have talked about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Not the band The Lonely Island, but if you were to go to a lonely island all by yourself, and you had, for what reason ever, a CD player.
And one CD.
Yeah. So, what 10 CDs would you take with you?
Yeah, and yeah, this is a so difficult question. It was just like, I stopped and I already, I had...
Well, I would cheat with that. I would take double albums. More music to listen to.
Yeah, it is really a difficult decision. So maybe you can tell me your 5 or 10 albums.
In the comments.
Yeah, that you go to an island with.
Yeah, well, for now we're going to an island with Stormchild.
Oh yeah, this is... yeah, where can we start? It's really difficult.
Well, we'll start at the beginning. How about that?
Yeah, this would be great. So, like the Angel Fall first album, when we talk 10 minutes about the intro, the first 10 seconds. So,
yeah,
I don't think we will talk about the Blaster Child intro for 10 minutes.
Well, except a little story, maybe. Maybe. My girlfriend hates this song because of the intro. Because for some time I used it as my alarm clock.
Really?
Yeah, and she was like, yeah, every time that alarm went off, she stood in bed, like...
Is it the revenge for...
Yeah, kind of. Bastard.
Yeah. I will do a reaction video for that song one time.
Hell fucking no.
So, sorry you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, stupid inside jokes.
Yeah, but Blaster Child, so...
great opening track.
Yes, in the first listening I also was surprised by it after the Wishmaster album, because it started like BAM! And... yeah, I was just surprised from the whole sound from the very first second. Only that are just more or less lyrics, not lyrics, vocals.
Yeah.
But you can hear the different from the very first second sound-wise.
It's a different mood, yeah.
It's completely different mood. And that was so surprising from the very first second. And it was just like, okay, interesting.
Well, but generally speaking, it sounds bigger.
Yeah,
it sounds bigger. Even if there is less in there.
Yeah.
It just production-wise, it sounds bigger. But however, I think he chose the perfect track out of this track list as the opening track.
Yeah.
It's just you know, it sets the mood for the rest of the album perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. It is from the whole song, not a classical opening track, just from the tempo and everything.
Well,
and how the song is written.
It depends on what band you're listening to.
To Nightwish, just in comparison to the other opening tracks from the other albums. When you have She's My Sin, Stargazers, and the other Bath.
The album Bath. Yeah, true that, but maybe that's the reason why I like it so much.
Yeah. It's definitely great, but it was just curious from the first.
I mean, in general, this album is, I would almost say, softer than, let's say, Wishmaster, or especially Oceanborn. It's definitely softer than Oceanborn.
Yeah.
So it's softer, and it's you know, it sets that mood perfectly. It just gets you into this dreamy vibe. It's like this album to me is dreaming.
Yeah, but desperate dreaming.
Yeah, I didn't say it's a good dream necessarily. But it's just like reaching out for something you've been longing for so long, and you cannot quite reach yet.
Yes.
Like that's this album to me, mood-wise.
It's just like Thomas is traveling on a little boat and
To an island.
to an island and just paddling and don't get to it. And it's just like he just see that
On the horizon.
and he know that he can reach it, but he
that he
tried.
can't reach it. You mean like he's just or
It feels
trying. Yeah,
really
it feels
lonely,
like that.
this album. It's this feeling, the whole
I
album.
never thought about that.
But I think it feels really lonely, in a
In
weird
an
way,
emotional way.
emotional way.
Yeah, emotionally lonely.
And
That's fitting. Yeah.
yeah, and I think also the whole time was really curious for him as a songwriter, and I know that 2001 he wanted to quit Nightwish, the whole band, because of reason I can imagine, but I think
We all got our theories.
I think everybody knows
Again,
what I'm talking
if you
about.
have a theory, leave it in the comments below.
And so yeah, I know you are not a big fan of the singer of Sonata Arctica, but he's the reason that Nightwish still exists, because he was the one who said to Thomas, "No, you don't have
Cool.
to quit it." So that was really a good thing.
I don't have anything against Sonata Arctica.
But I know you're not the biggest fan of the singer.
Well,
Just
he's
as
a good
person.
singer, but he looks like a like a cunt. It's just
That is what
I
meant.
just don't like his face, and I know that I'm probably doing him awfully wrong. He might be a nice person and everything, and from time to time I enjoy listening to his voice and the music of Sonata Arctica. But please, don't make me see him. It's just like I'm
That
sorry.
is what
I'm sorry.
I meant. So yeah, a difficult songwriting time, and also the big
And
change.
thank God for that,
And
because this is the result.
definitely. So sometimes a bad time in your life can make such a masterpiece. This is a perfect example for it.
Yeah.
And also a big change on this album in comparison to the others is, of course, Marco joined the band, especially from the bass sound itself. That is really
Yeah,
the
you're
thing.
talking about his bass sound a lot,
Yes.
but really, in this album, it's the only time, to me at least, where his bass sound really mattered.
Yeah, that's true.
In
That's
the other
true.
albums that came later, it was completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, irrelevant. Let's address the irrelevant in the room.
Yeah.
I'm into dad joke videos, and that was part of it. And I just discovered that I adopted it into my everyday language. So
Yes. Yeah, but that is you're absolutely right. In this album, it is just like because on the
not
previous
on this
album-
track though.
No, but when the music started, you just can hear the difference to the other albums. Not so as in other songs when it comes to the bass sound, but you just heard something different.
Yeah.
And in the first way, I wasn't sure what it was, because at this time I wasn't so into the band members and changes. They have a new bass player.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was also a surprise when he started to sing, but we will talk about that a bit later. But you can just hear that something has changed.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to the harmony changes, like especially when with this song, for example, when the verse transitions into the chorus.
Yeah.
Like that harmony or a harmonic change that he's done there is just so different from what he's done before and from what he did later.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
this album is unique in so many ways.
Yes.
Just as Wishmaster was before.
Yeah.
Both albums are absolute, like up to this point, every album was unique.
That was what I'm trying to say.
So no exception here, but it's just done so well. It's just done so well.
Yeah.
And it's probably my favorite opening track up to this point in Nightwish history. Even though she's my sister.
Yeah, that's the problem in my head as well. But it was just like something so different from the opening track, from the sound, from everything. And also the keyboard playing is like I said, a bit classical Nightwish, maybe not to this point, but this is classical songwriting, and he once told that this is one of the most difficult songs to play because he has to do it for 6 minutes.
Like your hands cramp up and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, I know this feeling. So this is, I think, not the easiest one to play, and it also was the opening track for the live show. Which was pretty cool. I wasn't on the live show at this time. That is one of the saddest things when it comes to that. But also interesting opening number, but absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful is the perfect word. I mean, a lot of folks like. I read the comments, at least most of them.
In the Angel for First video.
Because the others haven't come out yet.
Yes.
At the time we're recording this.
Yeah.
I stated that I'm into metal because I like to rock and ballads do not rock and yada yada yada. And people commented that listening to Nightwish is not about rocking out, but about listening to beautiful music.
Yeah.
And I do agree on that. But especially with this album, the beauty really kicks in.
Yeah.
So this album is the most beautiful out of all Nightwish albums.
By far.
By far.
By far.
And partly because of the stylistic choices when it comes to sound design.
Yeah.
Like the keyboard sounds he chose and those little bits of orchestra that are slipped in there. Which makes it bigger, yes. But I mean, there was a perfect balance between keyboard sound and orchestral sound.
Yeah.
And that just, adds to the atmosphere of this album.
And also the singing of Taya was a bit different than on the other albums.
It was top notch.
Yeah. It was just like also in the first track.
Fucking up your table.
It's already broke, so you haven't done anything. That happens all the time. I think in many reaction videos you can hear this sound like... I know this feeling. Taya's voice in this is also different than on the other albums. That was also a surprise. So,
but it sounds more confident.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like she grown as a singer.
Yeah, and from what you told me, like way back in the day, let's say 10 years ago, Marco gave her singing lessons for this record.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. Funnily enough, because she, sounds like the better singer, but he has more technique.
I think that was the reason. And she was also studying vocals in Karlsruhe.
Really?
Yeah. Really.
All right.
That's not so far away from our hometown.
Yeah.
I think she learned a lot at this time, and you can hear it
I think they really took more time in the recording process here.
Yeah, it could be true. Maybe they have more money also to go longer to the studio.
Sure, but when you listen to Wishmaster in comparison, it's of course it's not been one take, but it sounds more like she could have sung it in a one take.
Yeah,
and there's less arrangements, like vocal arrangements, than in this album. So I think they just took their time to record the vocals properly and to have an outcome that they are satisfied with.
Yeah.
Because this album seems like Holopainen hasn't been satisfied with the Wishmaster sound, so he did this.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah, but it was a bit sad that this was only his thoughts only on one album, because with the next one it changed completely, and since then nothing was the same. But we will talk about that in the next album.
Speaking of next
song.
End of All Hope.
What a great song. What a great song.
To this day, it's just like from the classical standpoint of opening tracks in Nightwish records, this could have easily been the opening track, because it just starts out
in your face.
Yeah, but I'm glad they didn't do that, because again, setting the mood, everything beautiful, yada yada yada, and then boom, in your face. We can still bring it if we want to. It's like this is like a demonstration of force, if you will.
Absolutely, and also this great verses also with the drum work when
Yeah.
it only hit the snare, nothing else.
Yeah.
And this is so cool. He has never done it
No.
before and after it. It's so great songwriting just from the drumming, and that makes it so driving.
Yeah, and catchy.
Yeah,
the
and-
whole song is catchy.
And this is so weird to use the drum this way in verses. On the second verse it changed, then the bass drum came in, that's the word. But it was just like from the very first second also with this is the end of all hope, also together sang by Taya and Marco.
Yeah.
And that was also the first time you can really hear his voice. Okay, he speaks in the end of Bless the Child.
but it's been
That-
modified.
Yes, and at this
Bless the
time
Child.
I wasn't sure it was just only a speaker on a song or something, and then it kicked in. It was just like, okay, this has so much power, energy, and
It has balls, yeah.
absolutely,
It's just
and also this in the middle part with these great keyboard sounds also, and they changed into the guitar solo and came back, and this is so great songwriting because you were interested the whole time. There was no low point or something.
no, not for a second. Not
no.
for a second. It's just
Pure power,
pure gold. Man.
Yeah.
It's pure gold. Even though it's not the best song on the record.
No,
But,
no,
I mean,
this
come
is just the
Neither one, Bless the Child nor End of All Hope,
Yeah.
are the best songs on this record, in my opinion at least.
Yeah.
But still, they're so strong. They're so strong.
Yeah, and speaking of this, could been an opening track on the Decades tour. It was the opening track, except in Europe. Europe, and I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off like this glass, and it was just like, okay, there was Darkness of Wonders, for me one of the best opening tracks ever. We don't have to talk about that, but I've heard that on nearly every Nightwish show. And then they played in North America and South America End of All Hope as the opening track, and then
you went to the show and they decided, fuck you, brother.
Yeah, it really felt exactly this way. It was just like, no, why are you doing this? I still don't get the point till today. Maybe because the Once album was really successful here in Germany, but I think it was successful all over the world. And that is not really what a decision can be made, because they are so big they can do whatever they want, and the people still go to
Well,
the
but they
shows.
still, they don't do it.
Yeah,
They can do whatever the fuck they want, but they don't. Because they're doing a lot of fan pleasing.
yeah, that's
Which I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
That was the knife in the back.
Yeah.
As the Scent of a Moon was not mine. That was. It felt. I think I know. It felt. Exactly
they should
this
open
way.
up
That
a
would be-
set with Nymphomaniac Fantasia.
Oh, I would love it.
That would be great.
That would be great. Talking about great, the next track, Dead to the World. Oh my God!
It's just... Come on, what can we say? Basically what we're trying to say is each and every song on this record, well, not each and every, but almost every song on this record is pure gold.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on, for fuck's sake, I just talked about how my girlfriend hates Bless the Child, but she loves Dead to the World, and she doesn't like Nightwish at all. But she loves this song because it's just so upbeat.
Yeah.
It's...
Great chorus.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. That was also where Marco has his first solo part, and it was also weird to hear this the first time. I can remember it. It was just like, oh, okay, what's going on? But when they came together in the chorus, it is just so great.
Yeah.
And it works.
It was overwhelming at the time. I mean, by now I've grown accustomed to it, so I'm used to this song because I've played it like a lot of times. And but back in the day, I was overwhelmed because it was just so fresh and new.
Absolutely.
And speaking of Marco's voice on this record, sorry to say that, everyone, but from time to time I get annoyed by his voice.
Yeah.
It just happens, especially like when I'm listening to a Tarot record. Yes, they're good and all, you know, perfect, fine. But after some time, I've had enough.
Yeah.
But with this record, for what reason ever, maybe it's a mixing issue, I don't know, but he does not sound annoying at all.
No.
Like, at all. I can listen to this song on a continuous loop and will never get annoyed by his voice. Maybe by the song, but not by his voice in context.
Yeah, and it is just like such a great combination with the voice of Taya.
Yeah.
That fits so perfect.
Yeah, but voice is good, fine, perfect. Yeah, all right, we talked about that. But come on, that fucking fast keyboard bit, like the main
riff, like, whatever. Just from the beginning, you're also how the song started with the chorus line is so great. Yeah. And then the keyboard kicks in, it's just like, and now we're here.
Yeah. And now we're gonna have a party.
Yeah. It just feels this way. And yeah, such a great song. Also great keyboard work all over the song.
Yeah, but still within the realm of being dreamy-ish.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable, great song. Yeah. I just want to listen to it right now. It just feels like I just don't. I just want to sing along. We'll do a reaction video in this video.
We won't.
But it just feels like
you will not hear us sing along.
No, that's not a good idea.
No, probably not.
Yeah, but great song, and sadly they haven't done this live so many times since this era or since this album came out. I think I've never saw this one live.
I can imagine it to be a difficult live track.
Could be, yeah. So I think maybe I've heard it once live, and I was, I think, on 14 or 15 Nightwish concerts, and I'm wondering, because this number is such a great live number also for the fans to sing along, and just from the feeling, and you can do a lot.
Just gets you pumped.
Absolutely, you can do a lot of light work in these fast guitars things and everything that fits so perfect as a live number. But it could be true that this is just difficult to do live, and that's the reason. Or just Thomas hated it for some reason. We don't know.
I don't know, but I cannot imagine him to hate this track. He must be so proud of this one. Like, I mean, come on, it's great choruses, great verses, and a fucking great bridge.
Yeah, everything is perfect. This is a perfect song.
Yeah.
And as End of All Hope and Bastard Child. So till this point, the album is really on the highest level you can imagine.
Yeah, probably, and it doesn't go any lower with Everdream. I mean, I can hardly listen to the song anymore because I've played it to death. And other folks that I've known in the past have played it to death. Yeah. And that's why, it's not my favorite track on the record anymore. Yeah. It was up there back in the day, but it's just, I just heard it at least one too many times.
Yeah, same feeling for me. So it was never my favorite track on the album, but I like it. It's a great song and great riff.
Yeah, and I completely get why people to this day are very hyped about this song, because it is a great song.
Yeah,
a great song, and probably so far the peak of this dreamy vibe.
Yeah,
because not because it has dream in the title. No, but because the music, it's just so floaty, and
it's just from the whole composition, it's really easy. It's not too complicated. Also from the riffs, it's not so complicated from the whole song. I think it's also very easy to play.
That is a different story.
Yeah,
to play it might be easy, but to write something like that, it's got to be incredibly hard.
That's true.
Especially the vocal line, the melody line. It's just, how do you come up with that?
This is I think Thomas' inspiration at this time was on the highest level. No idea where the ideas came from. I think he just had every second he uses in his life to music at this point. I think he was like 16 hours a day before the keyboard. It just feels like he tried everything.
He was more dedicated than ever.
I think so. It was just.
It feels like it.
Yeah,
it feels like it. What started out as almost a goof, if you will, with the Angels Fall First record, just to try stuff out, and just to mess around a little bit and see what the outcome might be. So he gradually evolved with every record that followed, and with this he was all in. He was just all in. Yeah. At least that's the feeling I get from this record. I don't know if I'm wrong with that. He might tell a completely different story.
Could be true.
But this was the point where he reached the all in state.
Yeah. And I think also he's trying to reach the perfection level again. It just felt like he has to write the best album ever, just from the feeling. It was just like he wanted to do that, and it feels like that he just
never felt like that to me.
But for me, it just when you listen to the song, how perfect they are, it is just like that is not an accident or something. I think it's combination of his high emotions at this time.
If he had the intention of writing the best album he possibly could ever, the Phantom of the Opera wouldn't be on there. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, difficult thing on the album.
Because you know, I mean, come on, it's a good cover version and all, yada yada yada. But if you want to give your best album, you don't present a cover song on there.
That is also a thing that is a bit bothering me also. But we will talk about that later. Next one, also very, very...
very. The song is just very.
It's very, and no. It's very dreaming again, because it's also a dreamer in there. The dreamer.
When I first heard the track, I didn't like it.
It was so strange to hearing it the first time. I know how you feel. Also, Nightwish starting with such kind of a guitar riff, and in this also weird guitar sound, weird not bad, but Stormchild sound guitar. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, it was weird to begin with, but however, as time went on, I learned to love the song more and more, and especially it peaked when I saw Nightwish live. It was my only time seeing Nightwish live, back in 2005, and they played this track, and with those pillars of fall that they spotted in red light and had flamethrowers in front of the stage, like in this end bit where it's like really this doomsday mood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was just so overwhelming. And I was like, okay, now I get the intention behind this song.
Yeah.
Like it's a mood track.
And it needed to grow.
Yeah.
For me the same. Because this is the so weird sounding song of the whole album for the first listening.
Yeah.
It just from the opening riff.
There's no way you could have seen that coming.
No, it was just like after this beautiful Everdream song, and it makes absolutely sense to make a song like this after Everdream to change the mood and
because
keep the album interesting.
There is no way you could go any more dreamy than Everdream.
Yeah, so you have to slay the dreamer. It's absolutely.
It's again, a lot of thought went into the track list of this album.
Yeah,
I really think that because the album is structured so well.
Absolutely, again, like the Wishmaster album. We talked about that this is so important.
Yeah,
and also on this album, it's just perfect in every way. But Slaying the Dreamer was also a song just also from the lyrics. It's really great and unusual for Thomas at this time. At this time.
It's really angry.
It's angry, like
it's
my
probably the only. Read the comments.
Yeah.
It's probably the angriest Nightwish song that I can think of right now.
I think so too. Also from the lyrics,
the mood. It's just.
Yeah, it's also. I don't want to say the most heavy one, but.
Kind of. I mean, the end of the track for sure.
Yeah.
Nightwish doesn't get any heavier than this.
Yeah, it makes so fun to listen to it. And also, I think that Marco did a better job on the album than live. Because live he's just like really screaming.
He's just loud.
Yeah,
he's just loud.
He's just loud. And on the album, it's so much better.
It almost felt like he was, I don't know, performing a play in theater or something, where he really overacted, like I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, and that's a bit of the problem on the live version. Also, on the Decades tour when
he exaggerates that to the max, and that is Too much.
Too much, and also on the Decades tour, I don't like the floor version. I've talked about that a lot because she is singing with him the last part. I have. And that was really awful for me because this part is so great, and in the original version, you don't need that, and and it doesn't make sense at all.
No, it's just it was a bad decision.
Definitely.
I don't even know if it was a decision though. Maybe just by playing it live over and over and over till till we got to the point of recording this DVD. Maybe she was just bored, just sang along because out of boredom.
Maybe.
I mean, it doesn't sound bad.
No.
If you didn't know the song before, you would have loved this live version.
Absolutely.
But I prefer the original. Definitely. For several reasons. First, she didn't sing along.
Yeah.
And second, Marco doesn't do the annoying exaggeration of his bit. His part.
Yeah. This is the album version is the perfect version.
Yeah.
Definitely, and also this in the end, like I need Taya's voice for the end part. It's just like
Doomsday is here.
Yeah,
it's just,
and
come on, that's just a fatality right there.
This is
to speak in Mortal Kombat terms. It's like
I could just can't do it better than this version.
Hell no.
That's the problem.
There's one thing that I always say about every song that I consider to be perfect, and that's not necessarily related to Nightwish, but in general. But this is a good example.
Yeah.
If a song is perfect, you cannot make it any better.
Yeah.
Perfect is perfect. There's nothing that tops that.
Yeah.
So back the fuck off and leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's like nobody needed Taya Turunen, nobody needed a cover version of Alice Cooper's Poison. And especially
that's true.
not a bad one like that. I'm sorry.
That's the worst Taya song of all time.
Dude, I didn't even buy the record because I was standing in the record store and was like, yeah, cool, let's check it out, like get those snippets you get in the record store.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, Poison sounds like a cool title. I didn't think of anything bad, and it took me like halfway through the chorus to realize that it's actually a cover version of Alice Cooper's Poison, and it's just so awfully bad and wrong that I didn't even bother buying the record. Maybe there's good tracks on this record, but I don't care. A horrible mistake like that deserves punishment.
Absolutely, because I bought the CD as well.
And she didn't even sing well.
No, it was just awful. And I listened to the album because I just bought it because it was the first Taya solo album. I was really interested in it. Yeah. And I think it was track 11 or 12 or something.
I think it was 5.
No, it was in the end. I think it was in the end. It doesn't matter. It was just like I was listening. I realized it was a Poison cover version. I realized how bad it was. And then I stopped the album and never got the CD back in my CD player. Till today.
See?
Till today. It's a true story. And as you all know, I'm a big Taya lover. Not everything she has done was something I
lost interest right then and there and never found back to a state where I was even slightly interested in what Tarja Turunen was doing.
Yeah, I have done a few reaction video here and it's not bad and I still like her voice and there are good songs, but it was just like...
She was just lacking a good songwriter.
Yeah.
That's the hunch that I got from those snippets I listened to, and whoever made the decision for her to cover Alice Cooper's Poison just deserves to be strangled, man. It's just...
this was one of the worst career decisions of Taya Turunen ever.
It was a killer. It was a career killer. Yeah. She could still be up there somewhere. Not as big as Nightwish, but she could still be up there. Yeah. But no, that killed her career. I'm sorry.
I have no idea.
She was slaying the dream of a career.
It would be so interesting to see Alice Cooper's face when he heard this once because he had to agree.
Well, back in the day, from what I've heard, he was in financial struggles.
Yeah, that is...
And he was probably thankful for every penny that he got out of that deal.
Yeah. But just to see his face the first time hearing it, it would be...
That would be priceless.
Yeah. It was just like, okay, yeah, it's... Good.
Yeah. Speaking of disappointments,
No,
No, it's not a disappointment.
no.
But it's the second weakest track
Yeah,
on the record.
it's the ballad and Forever Yours. It's not a bad track.
No, it's not a bad track at all.
And it fits perfect to the mood of the whole album
Yes.
as well. And I think after a song like Slaying the Dreamer, you need a bit to calm down.
You need a break, yeah.
But
come on, Ocean Soul would have done that as well. But fuck it, we'll get to Ocean Soul in a
yeah,
bit.
but I think I can understand it also to put a song like this on the set list after Slaying the
Yeah.
Dreamer. And it's a song I like, so I
Placement-wise, it's perfect in the track list.
yeah, and I didn't skip it when I listened to the album. I honestly, that there's another one I skipped more, but we come to this. And so I like this, especially in this song, the drumming. It's really easy, like a ballad drumming. But I don't know why it's so special for me, but it's just a perfect use of the drums. It doesn't have
Well,
to
on
be...
this album in general,
Yeah,
the drums are just spot on.
yeah, and it's
It
just
was-
like the
Again, this album reached the peak of Nightwish
Yeah.
in every aspect, and the drumming as well.
yeah, and just how he kicked into the drum part is nothing complicated or something. It's so
No,
easy.
but sometimes easy is the best thing to do. Like
Yeah.
when we talked about Oceanborn, we said
Yeah.
more is more was
Yeah.
the decision for this record. In this case, sometimes less is more
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And with this song in particular, it is.
Yeah.
But you know, coming from this novelty of this big Nightwish sound that I just experienced
Yeah.
for the last 5 tracks,
Yeah,
I was a bit disappointed to have a song so little
yeah,
on this record. It really seems little.
Yeah.
I mean, the sound is still there and all, but the song in itself is just...
it's but I think it's really the problem that you have 5 so strong songs before.
Yeah.
You just listen to 25 minutes or something, or 20 minutes of just absolutely perfection in songs and music. So it has to be a bit of a letdown. There's no other way. But still, for me, a song I listen to. Ballads are also a bit complicated. You just have to rock and metal, as you said. No, it's not this way.
No, but I think this and another track are just on this record because he didn't only want to have 8 tracks on the record.
Yeah, and also it's the shortest Nightwish album with I think only 50 minutes. And I think that could have been a problem.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a short album.
No,
Because you can listen to it on a continuous loop more often. It's just like that.
But
sometimes I do want to listen to records that are short in comparison, so I can listen to it more often.
yeah, but for me also it's difficult to do an album with less than 10 tracks. I don't know why, but for me it feels a bit wrong.
You're weird with stuff like that. Like you would never ever have 12 tracks on a record.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but I think maybe this was also a bit of the idea. Maybe he has this feeling too. I don't know. But
Just
if yes,
a wild
I
guess.
can understand it. But I don't think it was something, and it fits also to the mood of the album. So nothing bad.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
It has this feeling like he's really heartbroken, laying in that boat before that island. Just
Maybe halfway out of the boat already.
Yeah.
Drowning himself almost.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
it's desperate.
Absolutely.
But in all the good ways. Like,
Yeah.
not yeah.
But
you
I
get it.
can really feel his pain in this one. Not in other tracks it is more.
Yeah.
We will come to that in the end.
Yeah.
But I just feel it also, and that was also a big part of why this is my favorite Nightwish album, because at this time I was 15 years old and everything felt a lot bigger, more emotional and dramatic, and it was just like, that was the first time my heart was broken, and it really felt he's speaking right out of my heart. It was really this feeling. Till this day I can remember this feeling. I don't have the feeling anymore so much, but I can remember the feeling. It was just like, oh, that is one person who understands me. And it felt this way,
And no bullshit. I don't know if I ever told you that, but now is the perfect time to go to the next song, Ocean Soul, because 10 years ago or something like that, I referred to you in my mind as the Ocean Soul.
yeah.
That's weird, yeah, and it sounds a bit gay, I know that, but It was just because you were living this album.
Yeah.
It was like you were living this album.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
exactly this way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
If
felt...
you could have dissolved in it, you would have dissolved in this record.
Yeah, it's just for me pure emotions
Yeah.
in every single way.
And speaking of Ocean Soul, because lest we forget talking about this
Yeah.
song, Capri. this is where the album reaches its peak mood wise. This is just, you know, this is this record in a nutshell.
Yeah, also that he chose the name Ocean Soul for a song, because he used that word before in other Nightwish things, and also there is the Nightwish fan club also at this day that called Ocean Souls, and afterwards I was surprised that he really has done a song called Ocean Soul, because that is really difficult when you use this
Yeah,
word.
but it's not a letdown.
No, but I think when he has written the song, he knew that it will work, and so he can choose this special word. But it's really an underrated song, and nobody talks about this song. They've, I think, never played it live.
Which is a fucking shame. It's not only a pity, it's a shame.
Yeah.
And hey, this time I'm gonna say it first. The keyboard sounds.
The keyboard sounds.
The keyboard sounds. They're just too good. They're just too good.
Yeah, but also used different than on the previous albums.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit lighter or calmer, or I don't know how to say it, but it wasn't just in your face.
No.
It was just
It
like...
was playful,
Yeah.
if you will. Is playful a good term for what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's innocent.
It's innocent, yeah. I think...
Without innocence, the cross is only iron.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope is only an illusion.
And Ocean Soul's nothing but a name.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so fitting.
Yeah.
And also just the chorus line with this losing emotion, finding devotion, should not rest in white. So to see, as I always wish to be, one with the waves. You can
Ocean
say,
Soul.
You can say it in the comments. I just want to say it, just like a crowd before you. But
Imaginary crowd.
yeah, imaginary crowd. But it's just like this. As you said, it's the perfect example for the whole album. Just also this chorus line. It's exactly that, and
It's just
it's
spot
so curious that nobody talks about this song.
Well, I doubt that nobody talks about
No,
the
but,
song, but the song
in
certainly
comparison
does
to
not
other-
get the recognition it deserves.
No,
Because it's, if I had to, which God forbid, I hope I will never have to do that, make a ranking of my top 10 Nightwish tracks, which would be a tough task to do, but I think it would be on this list.
yeah,
And I think
it's-
Ocean Soul would be on this list.
It's difficult to do a list like that. We all know that, but it's so strong. Yeah, and as the next one is also absolutely strong one in other ways,
Yeah.
for different reasons.
Yeah.
Also, perfect example for the new bass sound on the album, because this bass intro is just crazy, and it was also from the first listening really weird.
It's a proper bass line to begin with.
Yeah.
It's the first proper bass line that I really heard
Yeah.
listening to Nightwish, because usually the bass was just the background instrument. It's like, okay, what does the bass guitar play? Well, it's the same as the guitar, but tuned deeper. It's like, kind of.
Yeah,
you know, it's mean to say that. I'm sure that it was not the case with the previous records and the previous songs. But however, this was the first time I could clearly with ease hear a proper bass line together with the sound. It just worked, man.
Yeah, and also with this bass intro and the keyboard kicked in with it. Da, da, da. This feels so epic.
It is epic.
It's just like, okay, there's something big coming, and then also the
and they got it coming.
yeah, and the kicking to the song also with this cool guitar riff, and also the keyboard sounds again.
Yeah.
And also with this.
But I like the second verse more with the
Yeah.
guitar build up. This is awkwardly enough probably the best build-up on the record.
Yeah.
I mean, not the best build-up song.
No.
But it never reaches the highest high.
Yeah.
But to the point where it reaches, the build-up is just... It's... Especially they did it with guitars for once.
Yeah.
Which is a rarity. Usually the build-up is with orchestration or keyboard sounds or the drumming. But very rarely does the guitar do the build-up. And with this song they did it, especially in the second verse.
Yeah, and also the guitar sound, again, is a perfect example of this song, the guitar song, because you can hear it so clear.
Yeah.
And with this little things arrangement on the guitar, it just fits so perfect.
Yeah.
It is, if it is more or less, it wouldn't be perfect. It's just they use it
again.
exactly.
If it's perfect, don't do it any differently because there is no better than perfect.
And also the whole feeling, again, for the whole album, I feel in this one. It's just like, this. It's so different.
There is a pulse behind this record.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a living being. It has its own pulse.
I think it's a really low pulse when it comes to lyric songwriting. But
well, it's Feel For You Part 1.
Yeah, absolutely. So he really felt for someone. I don't know.
Well, if you have an educated guess who that might have been, leave it in the comments below.
Yeah, I think it's really obvious. Everybody thinks this and it just fits. But yeah, and now we come to
the low point of the record.
Yeah.
The unnecessary cover version of Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, so it is not bad that Nightwish covered the Phantom of the Opera.
No, it was fitting at the time.
Yeah, but they could have done it as a bonus track or something, because the album, it just doesn't fit in the mood. And also lyrically and everything, it just stands out. Not for the best reason.
It was just a demonstration of, hey, listen, we can do that. We have a female singer who can do this operatic stuff.
Yeah.
And we do have a male singer now who can reach this operatic stuff, but still he's a very good singer. So it was just a demonstration that, hey, now we can do that if we want to. That's what it feels like to me, at least. But it could have been easily left out of the record because it's just... I like the song and I like the Nightwish version. I just don't like it on this record.
That's the problem. So they have also done 2 bonus tracks in Lagoon and The Wayfarer. So also not songs that I have put on the album, but also Lagoon, if you know the song, has the same feeling as the sound-wise and just from the feeling. It's would be the better decision. Just because
I don't know this song. Lagoon. Maybe you've played it to me once or twice, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But just I can imagine it must have been the better song for the record.
Yeah.
Because it's been written in the same time period, and by the way, it's been written by the same guy. It's like, how can a cover version ever capture your feelings and emotions? That like the state of mind you're in at the time of writing this record. Yeah. It's like it just doesn't fit. It feels out of place.
Yeah, it's just like, for example, on the EP Over the Hills and Far Away, it doesn't matter that this was a cover.
No.
And because it wasn't a full album with a whole, I don't want to call it concept or a whole mood. It were just 4 tracks, and it was just like a cool cover, and
well, that's an understatement.
Yeah,
it's a fucking great cover.
Yeah,
it's a fucking great cover. But I think Over the Hills and Far Away would have worked way better as a cover track on a Nightwish record. In general, but if you had put it on Century Child,
it would be awful.
It would be the worst decision ever made. Even though the cover version is great and I love it at all, but if you put that cover version on here, I would puke blood, man.
Yeah, it is just the problem that this is a cover version. So maybe there would be a track on it that we don't like, but fits also in the structure and the mood. It would be better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Even if we don't like it.
Yeah.
It's just a problem with the cover, why they haven't done this as a bonus track. They still can play it live and can be successful, everybody can love it, because I like it too, the version, don't get me wrong, it's just don't fit on this album. And
But they completely make up for it with the last track.
yeah,
The
best-
beauty of the booty of the beast.
maybe that was
No.
the first title when he was progressing, because we all have stupid titles when we just do a song.
Yeah.
But Beauty of the Beast, for me, the best Nightwish song ever.
Not only on this record, ever.
Ever.
Yes, we both say that, even though we are aware that Ghost Love Score exists.
Yeah, absolutely. Because also,
Ghost Love Scar is a great song. It's probably their second best song. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry to break it to you, it's only second best because Beauty of the Beast.
yeah, and also I think one of the most underrated songs because of
Yeah.
that, because they have these long songs also on the.
Well, nowadays everybody celebrates and cherishes those long songs and praise them like they're the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Like this, the greatest show on earth thing, which is just long. It's not necessarily good or anything, but everybody's like, oh my god, he wrote a 24-minute song, it's so fucking brilliant. No, it's not. And this is just 10 minutes of pure gold, start to finish. There is not one weak moment on this track.
No, and this doesn't feels like 10 minutes,
No.
like Ghost Love Score. That's just it. Also doesn't
it's
feel
similar
like,
there.
and that's the thing with long songs.
Yeah, if they feel like long songs, they're not done well.
Yeah.
If they feel like they're gone in the blink of an eye, which is the case here,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Yeah.
How can you underestimate a song like that? But back in the day, since this was the first time he had a song that long, I think people were, if you will, overwhelmed with it.
I was.
The first couple times, yes, especially since it starts out with this odd time signature again.
Yeah.
Which always throws everyone off that is not used to it, and yes, it was overwhelming, but that's what kept me interested in the song.
Okay.
That's why I played it over and over.
Yeah.
And every bit of the song, as I said before, is just good. It's just not good. It's great.
Yeah. And it's just
It's
pure.
not boring.
No, because there's so.
We'll get to boring later.
So many things going on in this one, and so unusual songwriting. It's so crazy. I think I listen to a lot of long songs because I like it when they're done good, and I listen to a lot of bands who have done long songs. I have done long songs myself, some good, some not so good, definitely. But I have also done some great long tracks. Yeah, so I know it's not so difficult, and this is for me interesting just from
You mean it is difficult?
it is difficult to do a long song and
keep
with
it
this
interesting.
yeah, and with this structure of this song, because
The structure is bonkers.
yeah, because when you listen to a song like Ghost Love Score, the big chorus is coming in the end, and you know that.
Yeah.
And it's okay, and it's good, and we don't have to talk
It's a
about
perfect song.
Absolutely, but in this, it's just like
It's a bit better.
Yeah.
It's just done better. I mean, technically speaking, and that's why on the back of the CD it reads the subtitles. Technically speaking, it's 3 separate songs, put together, but it's done in a clever way, and it works.
Yeah.
And me personally, I could always accept that it is one song with 3 bits in there.
Absolutely.
But I never thought of those 3 bits as separate tracks. Like, for example, on the Angels Fall First record, you can skip the individual subtracks.
Yeah. And you
With
hear
this,
it, and you hear it.
Exactly. With this, you cannot do that, and you need not do that,
No.
because it works. It just works.
Absolutely, and when the song just started with this fade in a bit, also again with these keyboard sounds that are used over the album, it's just like this mood again, and from the very first second,
And it feels like waves.
yeah, and from the very first second, this is the grand finale.
Yeah.
From the very first second,
Yeah.
okay, this is the last part, and now this album will come to an end, but with a big.
He went completely overboard with it.
Yeah.
It's like you know, it's almost as if he had a big bucket full of ideas left when he was done writing the album, and he was like, fuck it, let's pour it all into this one track. But he puzzled it together so cleverly.
Yeah.
So it just works out.
Yeah, and also with these little orchestrations in there, with these weird orchestration arrangements.
Yeah, it's so eerie almost.
Yeah, but it also has this big scene and fight feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what Endgegner means in...
Final boss.
Really? It's that simple?
Final boss.
Well, that doesn't sound as cool as Endgegner.
So you all just learned a new German word.
Yeah, because you know, that's the thing I have to beat in a way.
What do you mean?
That you just have to go through all his pain and what you learn about him, and now you have to reach his great emotions, and you don't know what's coming after the hill. Is he standing there smiling, or he's laying dead in the ground or something? Just emotionally.
Being a little overly dramatic, all right?
Yeah, but it felt like this when I was
record,
15.
Yeah, and especially the record is a bit overly dramatic, and especially this song, but in all the good ways. Like, let's go through the subtitles bit by bit. Like Long Lost Love, which really should be called Feel For You Part 2.
Yeah, I thought it really called Feel For You too.
Yeah,
yeah, it's weird.
Before we started recording, we actually, you know, just played seconds of each track, so you know we still have it in our minds, like fresh. And when it came to this song, we were surprised that it's called Long Lost Love, even though we should have known.
Absolutely,
because it's Feel For You Part 2.
Yeah,
and by the way, this is the only song that we listened through entirely because we could not
break. It's
stop it. Yeah.
No, that would be a shame. If you start this song, you have to listen to it till the end. Yeah. And also how the song kicked in with these weird orchestrations, and then the drum and the bass kick in, and the voice, of course. But it is for the instrumentation. It's just like oh my god.
Yeah,
this sounds.
It's kind of, I don't know why, because it's not too much happening.
No,
in this section, but it feels so in your face. It's just like a slap to the face.
Yeah, this great bass line with this drum beat is just like, I don't know what it is, but it feels so big and heavy also in some weird way, because it's just bass and drum and a bit of keyboard.
But maybe we had this Lars Ulrich phenomenon going on there, where he was just beating the living shit out of the drums. Maybe that's the case. I don't know, but it just feels heavy.
Yeah, and this is so crazy. And also these verses, then we have a bit of a chorus. It more sounds like a pre-chorus, this Feel For You thing.
Yeah. No, it's to me it never felt like a pre-chorus. It felt like a chorus.
For me, it's something between, because for a chorus, it is for me not
chorus
enough. I don't know, but I think you know what we're trying to say. But the weird thing is on the next part, One More Night,
this hard cut,
and then you have verses.
Which works. It works.
Yeah.
I till this day do not understand how the fuck this works. I mean, it's clearly, okay, this bit is over, cut here, boom, next bit. But it doesn't feel like it. No. Even though you can clearly hear it is exactly that, but it does not feel like it.
Yeah, it's so weird and so great also with this keyboard sounds again, with this clipping, what you told me.
Yeah, the soft clipping.
Yeah.
The purpose, they have, I don't know if you know anything about sound design and music and all that good jazz, but they have this one keyboard sound where they used a soft clip. At least I'm certain it was a soft clip. Clipping, everybody should know that when the microphone distorts, yada 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 yada. But sometimes people do that on purpose with a soft clip, so it's not completely over the top and destroys the whole scenery sound-wise, but it has this little crunch to it.
Yeah.
And this is the only time I can remember Nightwish doing that, having a crunch on the keyboard sound.
I think so, yeah.
So this soft clip is something that I really love in the song. I mean, it's just a tiny little bit.
But it has to be perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just took their time. I mean, come on. How did they find out that they wanted to have a soft clip on this particular bit of this particular song and only there? It's not like they were like, okay, this keyboard sound cool, sounds good. Let's move on. Like, obviously that's what you do. It's like, yeah, but you played it in, move on.
Yeah.
The decision to put a soft clip on there happened later. What is going on in your mind to think like, okay, this tiny little bit of the song, this needs a little extra crunch.
I think that is what I was trying to say a bit earlier in this video, when Thomas wanted to have this kind of perfection at this time, and that he was so into his music. That is what I meant. That he just overheard it again and again and again. And maybe, I don't know if it really was his idea or another band member or his co-producer, but I can imagine that he just heard it again and he know that there was something missing.
Yeah.
And that was exactly that.
Yeah. And I mean, come on. Again, I'm not the biggest... By the way, never mentioned that before, but I'm not the biggest fan of keyboards in metal. I mean, I'm totally fine with it, but it's not like it's a thing that is mandatory or needed.
No.
Like, if a band just rocks out like crazy without keyboards or anything, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not the keyboard geek. But
I'm also not in every band. There are many bands I'm really annoyed about the keyboard sounds.
Yeah, but especially with this record and the Wishmaster record for completely different reasons. Yeah. The keyboard sounds are just, either they make or break an album. But those albums were made by the keyboard sound. Even though in this record there's orchestra backing it up. Yeah, but
also, when we're looking back, how is Nightwish today? This is the perfect way to use the orchestra. It's there, and if it's used right and not too much, it fits perfect. Yeah. We will talk about that in the next albums, videos, because there's so much orchestration going on. But when I just heard it afterwards, it was just the perfect balance.
Yeah.
Because when once came out, we will talk about that in the next video, I was overwhelmed by this orchestration. I love it. Mm-hmm. But afterwards, I wish they just
kept it low a little.
Yeah.
Anyways, the chorus of One More Night to Live, let's call it chorus.
Yeah.
Hey, it repeats. So it's a chorus.
It's a chorus.
And it's really the big standout thing of this entire track, really. I mean, I love every second of this track. But this chorus is just, it cuts to the chase and it's to the point. It's to the point exact. I'm just claiming this right here, that I'm perfectly right with the statement, even though I don't know shit about fuck. Yeah. But I am certain that Tuomas Holopainen really felt every word that is written in this chorus. And it's just what made this album. It's like the core idea for this record is this chorus.
I think so too. Just from the lyrics, this is the best line he ever wrote.
Yeah, and everybody who ever tried or aspired to become a musician knows exactly what he's singing about.
Yeah, and it just feels, till today when I listen to it, it's exactly that. He's just on point. Yeah. It is exactly on point. And that they have just done it musically so perfect. It's just, you have this perfect line and you have this perfect music again. Yeah. It's a bit difficult because
it's an overdose almost.
Yeah, because you can have a great line or a great piece of music, but to have both, it's
a rare thing to happen.
A really rare. Also, when it comes to Nightwish, it's just
it's a mixed bag. Yeah,
absolutely, and
he just nailed it there, songwriting wise, and or they. I don't know how much the other members of the band were involved in writing this track.
I think
piece it together, maybe.
I think I know that Marco definitely written the first part of the song. Just when you listen to the bass line, it makes absolutely sense that he was involved.
Yeah.
I think the second parts, I just wrote it when you were talking with your girlfriend on the phone. Just wrote it that the second parts were together with Ampu.
Yeah.
I think maybe for the guitar arrangement you can hear it.
Yeah.
Because there were also for the little solo, it's something.
So,
yeah, but I think that the main structure is
but in
from
general,
Thomas.
we're praising Thomas Holopainen as if he was the great genius behind all of that, which is certainly true to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But hey, lest we forget the other band members, because fuck, they all did a great job, especially in the last bit of this track.
Yeah.
What is it called? Cristobal?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cristobal.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
When we listened through the track again.
Yeah.
There is something on this track that I'm certain, 100% certain, was an accident during the recording process, but they kept it in because it was better. Was a rhythm change in the drums, very close to the end of the track, while the fade out is already going on.
Yeah.
And there is something rhythmically changing, and he found back into the original rhythm. And I think that happened by accident. I'm sure.
Could be,
because to write something like that on purpose
it's impossible.
It's near to impossible, and especially that late in the track when you're already starting to fade it out.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like a conscious decision. But however, it makes the song better in general, because it keeps it interesting to the very end. And I can clearly understand why everybody in the band said, yeah, well, we'll keep that. Because just drumming straight through would have been boring.
Yeah, and it's in a lot of Nightwish tracks that the drumming is boring in the more later albums.
Yeah.
Because also Jukka Neverleinen on drums, I miss him a lot in Nightwish. It's really sad that he isn't still alive. He is still alive. He is still alive. Still in the live thing.
Good.
Because I'm sorry. But
this time you're getting the dislikes here.
Yeah. No, they all know that I love Jukka so much. I've talked about that, I think, for hours in my reaction video when you all put that together, because he's so energetic and it's so cool to just look at him
He does a lot of crowd work.
Yeah.
Or did a lot of crowd
and
work.
you just see that he feels it. It's unbelievable, and just he's a great drummer.
But I can imagine that he was not satisfied with this drum take. To begin
Maybe.
with. And hopefully he thinks differently about that now. Again, it's just my imagination running wild, but I can imagine that he was like, oh no, I fucked it up. But everybody, at least nowadays, knows that it was a perfect decision to keep that take, because it's just
that would be really interesting. If I ever have the chance to have a talk to Jukka, that would be the first question.
Yeah.
I think, just to know it, if it's true or not.
Yeah, I would be curious about that as well.
Yeah. So I think it's nowadays easier to meet him than when he's in the band.
Yeah.
So
well, maybe it's easier now.
Yeah, I think so. But all the band members on this album have done a great job.
Yeah, they've contributed, and especially the ending bit, vocal wise, again, is one of those manipulated molecule bits.
Yeah.
And it's just good. It's you know, when Bless the Child softly made you enter the record, this softly makes you exit it.
Yeah.
And it's so good, and the lyrics too, they're just fitting. And I mean, come on, even with this fade out bit that I know he really hates.
Except this one, because I totally understand it from the whole album concept. Yeah. And when I just think
and even
about
he says, a dead boy who failed to write an ending to each of his poems. I feel like that fade out is a continuation of that phrase.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's a conceptual thing, if you will.
Yeah, when we're just talking about the whole dreamer thing about in this album, I just was thinking that this whole album, when you just fall asleep and then just like Bless the Child kicked in, and you just slowly wake up when Beauty of the Beast is over. It's not like a nightmare, just you're
Yeah.
dead and just
It's
awake.
basically the spiritual prequel to Imaginarium, if you will.
Maybe.
Because this album feels like a journey. It feels like a journey.
Yeah.
And I think it was some merchandise for the Century Child album that read on it, Everywhere is Just a Journey.
Yeah, I had a flag.
Yeah.
This sentence, because I love this sentence. Also.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and it is true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and I think that, going through a journey is the theme of this record in a way. So, but in a dreamlike state. So
Yeah.
it's more a journey in your mind, like
Absolutely, and a journey through a lot of emotions and dark thoughts also. Also when it comes on the romantic side, which I think everybody can understand, because I think everybody was in life at this point that he just felt alone and...
Yeah, and speaking of which, something I forgot earlier in our video.
Yeah.
I recently, and by recently I mean like 4 months ago or something, 5 months, I don't remember. I saw an interview where Thomas Holopainen said that he does not have monitoring, like voice monitoring, when he's playing live. The Poet and the Pendulum it is called, I think.
Yeah.
Because this is a song that addresses suicide or whatever. He wrote the song so he didn't have to commit suicide, something like that.
Yeah.
So I really think that Oceanborn was the first song to address suicide.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Something in those lyrics slipped through to me.
You mean Ocean Soul, not Oceanborn?
Ocean Soul,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Oops, fuck.
Yeah,
Ocean Soul. Yeah, Ocean Soul.
Yeah.
Come on, why is there so much ocean?
Yeah, that's also the problem. Also the problem with Dream and everything.
Yeah. So with Ocean Soul, I think that addressed suicide as well. I mean, come on, should I dress in white and search the sea as I always wish to be, one with the waves?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like...
I think it was on a...
But on a more, from a more romantic point of view.
I think that is the good thing on the album, because in this mood it could have been way more aggressive or something, just like, oh, it's enough and I don't want to do it anymore. And,
but he wanted to be in his misery. It's like he didn't even want to get out. That's what I feel like when listening to those tracks.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it's good to feel heartbroken and miserable.
Absolutely. I think I've wrote my best songs in this mood, I think.
I agree. You wrote your best songs when you were devastated.
Yeah, I think a lot of musicians, and I think that is also a problem that the earlier albums of bands are mostly the better ones because they are just younger. And
it's not a question of age, but of inspiration.
Yeah, but they are maybe haven't found the wife or the husband. And it's just like there are more changes.
Still searching.
Yeah, and I think that is a feeling also you're searching in music. Just like for inspiration, for new melodies. And it's just like when you have your safe home. Yeah. Why you have to go out in some way.
Yeah.
And it also feels...
What should you still be longing for?
Yeah.
In a way.
And it feels, and I think that's the thing with the age. That is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe.
So it could be that his wife just wants to have a divorce and he feels this way once again.
Hey, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Because all the best to him and his wife.
Absolutely. But it was, it could happen. That is the thing with the age. But I think you can get it with the earlier albums.
Yeah. Okay, that concludes our review of the Century Child.
I think we talked a lot. I think that's the longest video. I haven't watched the clock, but
me neither. But hey, again, before we forget that, the ranking
number one with
it's far up number one.
Far number one. And the funny thing is, but I think we should do a video after all these album reviews with our end ranking.
No,
also including the new album, of course.
Well, I have a hunch where that will end up.
Yeah, but let's see. Yeah, me too. I'm really afraid of it. But just because everybody loves this ranking stuff. Yeah. And everybody has his own ranking. It would be just interesting.
So shall we stop that from now on?
Yeah.
So is this our last ranking?
We
can have a separate ranking?
We can say I think we just say it in the end, and I don't think so many people really watch our video till the very end.
Are you watching?
They are watching.
Are you still watching now?
Yeah.
After all this time?
Yeah, they are watching. You are good guys. But I think there are a lot of people who are interested just in the ranking, not in the completely album review for so long
So
time.
you suggest us to repeat ourselves?
A bit.
All right, then we'll do that.
It doesn't have to be like an hour video. Just it could have been 10 minutes just to tell the ranking, and everybody can tell their ranking. It would be just interesting because we have the same ranking. So the new album haven't.
I'm not sure whether we have the same ranking, but it's very similar.
Yeah, absolutely, and would be interesting to have someone who has really exactly the same thoughts than we. Because I saw a lot of rankings, but it was never my ranking. But we will have a few weeks to think about that. And you can tell me in the comments if you're interested. If not, we won't do it. No, that's not the reason. We're still gonna do it. So yeah, but I think we are through for today.
Thanks for watching.
Definitely, we will see us next week with the Once album.
Leave a like. No, why? Likes are on this side.
The red likes.
Yeah, the red likes. Hit the subscribe button as well and this notification bell thingy so you get informed whenever he's gonna release another one of those good videos if you enjoy that. And of course, tell us your thoughts in the comments. And
and I have to say thank you for the Angel for first comments. So we're recording just to have the comments for this video. That there were so long comments and just your thoughts that was really interesting and the best comment ever for my angry guest. With that said, hopefully...
How dare you!
How dare you! This is another story. Hopefully we see us next week. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel. It would be so awesome. And
I'm Phil.
I'm the Stormchild. Bye.